Tsunami Studios. Mortal Kombat Legends. Two dot things, I don't know what they're called. Scorpion's Revenge. A animated Mortal Kombat movie has come out, and by golly, is it a good one. I actually had a really fun time watching this, and I don't know, man, it was just such an interesting and unique experience that you can only get in the world of animation. By that I mean it is graphic, it is mature, but it's also very friendly, very interesting, and compelling. And it's hard to say that about a video game property, because I don't play video games that much. I play Smash Bros. Every now and then. I do like Mortal Kombat. I have a weird history with Mortal Kombat. I can tell you everything about the lore, but I've only played like 2 of the games like fully through, and I don't even own a console anymore. So Mortal Kombat is just one of those things in my life that I know well, but don't have like a huge attachment to it in terms of some of the other stuff I do. I don't have any collectibles of Mortal Kombat. I don't have any of the comic books of Mortal Kombat, but I can tell you almost all the gameplay from all the games. And I will say this, I knew this was coming out for a while. Like, I always knew they were making this animated Mortal Kombat movie. I never thought I would actually want to watch it because it's the people that did, well, I don't know if it's the same people behind the animated DC movies, but it's the same production house from Warner Brothers doing the same kind of style of animation. And I haven't liked a lot of the recent stuff that the DC animation studios have brought, and I was hesitant about this, mainly because I didn't know what to expect. Were they going to go full graphic? Were they going to do anything interesting? Were they going to tell the story of like a whole game in an hour and 20 minutes? And I will say this, they told a really compelling story that surprised me. So let's talk about what I liked, we'll talk about what I didn't like, and we'll get my overall thoughts at the end. So what I liked, I really liked the story. It is Scorpion's Revenge. It is the tale of Hanzo Hatasha, I think it's something like that is his last name, I can't remember. It tells his story, what happened to his clan, what happened to his people, who was responsible for those incidents, how he relates to the Mortal Kombat tournament. It is his story through and through, which is why in certain moments I was okay when he showed up and did certain things and events. He's the title character. It's called Scorpion's Revenge, so when he's doing his things, I'm on board with it. He's a very compelling lead. They made him vulnerable and interesting in ways that I wasn't expecting, because I will say I think he's taken a little bit of a back burner, like a little bit of a slowdown. You're not the lead anymore in the later games, which is what I'm more familiar with, but seeing where he ends up here, how he gets to where he is, I think it's very interesting and very compelling, and I like it a lot. Scorpion's a great lead. It's a weird comparison, but I hearken the Scorpion and Sub-Zero relationship to that of the Shredder and Master Splinter. You could swap whoever you want for what role, but that's how I always hearken it to, and that's how I always seen it playing out, and that's exactly what it was in this movie, so it was really cool to see that too. So the Scorpion stuff is another thing I really liked. Great lead, great stuff. He was so interesting, and the voice actor did a lot of the games too, so it worked really well. And another thing I liked, it was pretty graphic. And when I say graphic, you got the like close-up on the bones and the guts and the muscles, and they're ripping and they're crushing, they're breaking. Just like in the game, I thought it looked really good. It worked really well here because the animation allowed it to go in that direction, which you wouldn't expect from a lot of other stuff, which it looked really nice, and it was fluid in ways I wasn't expecting with the animation and the way they would zoom in on the bone-crushing moments. It looked really realistic, and by realistic, I mean realistic towards the game. Like, come on, you can't survive if all your ribs get crushed into your heart, or your jaw dislocates and your skull starts to explode. You're not surviving that. But for what we've seen in the game, it's very realistic towards that aspect of what we know in the game, and it was a really interesting thing to see, so that was really cool to see. Another thing I really liked, none of the kills were the same. I think that's a very interesting thing you could do, especially when you have a game like this and you're doing a movie. You gotta get those key moments. So on that same note, you got a lot of references to the game in certain fighting styles, the way people move, certain special moves, super moves, things that we know these characters for. But every time somebody died or did an attack, it was never the same attack again. It wasn't the same kind of style of punch or kick or any of that. It was all different and unique, and it was very interesting, and I liked seeing that because that's what you could do when you have an animation like this. Go crazy, do something intense and surreal, show people's heads exploding in certain ways, show it popping off in different ways, show limbs getting ripped off in different ways, do something unique and crazy. And they did that. They really did that, and I was very impressed to see that. It was such a compelling and interesting thing. Again, like, I wasn't expecting a lot from this movie. My expectations were very low. I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, okay, the animation sold me. Scorpion is very compelling in this moment. It's very interesting to see. And when you have great fighting style that's unique to a story like this, it makes it even better, because then things are different and it's just really interesting and entertaining when it's not the same stuff you've seen before. All the characters are really good. We'll get to one character specifically that I was kind of iffy on. They're all really good. Raiden is at his best. Liu Kang is at his best. I really love some of the stuff that happened with Liu Kang. There's two characters actually I will talk about that I was kind of iffy on. Jax is really good. And I'll say this for a positive too, they set up some sequels. They do set up a couple sequels here, which I'm fine with. I like when you set up a sequel. You could do it a certain way that works for me, a certain way that doesn't. This one worked, like, because I thought they were going to tell a huge, expansive story in terms of like an entire video game. So when it was just a little more toned down, it's like the first Mortal Kombat for some of our characters. We're learning about the world. We're setting it up where we can do more given the opportunity. So I think it worked. You got teases for the other villains. And it's just compelling. It's compelling stuff, and that's what I liked about the game too. It's compelling characters. There's key characters actually in the franchise that did not get a lot of play in this first movie. One in particular, I won't spoil it for you guys, but she is prominent in the games. She's in like 2 scenes, and that's it. So we're setting her up for a sequel, obviously, and that's kind of exciting to see. And I have no complaints with that. Like, I don't know what, this one just really works for me, and it's really fun. I had a great time watching it. The story was great. The Mortal Kombat was great. All the Easter eggs were great. You see a lot of cool characters. I'm a fan of Reptile and Baraka. I like both those guys. We see them here in certain scenes, and it was really interesting to see. Cool stuff with Sub-Zero. I always like Quan Chi when Quan Chi shows up. He's pretty cool. And Shang Tsung, he's great. Again, I said it already, but Liu Kang, the voice actor did great. His fighting style was amazing. Goro was really cool to see too. Everything about it was just really well done and interesting to watch. You gotta watch it just for Scorpion story alone, because just the way his story went was very interesting and compelling. And here are a couple of things that I didn't like. Jennifer Carpenter as Sonya Blade. I didn't like it. It's hard to do Sonya in a way that I think is interesting, because you go too butch or you go too bitch. And that's a weird comparison to say, or a weird way to put it, but you either make her the damsel in distress who needs help from all the other boys, or you make her too strong and masculine that's not interesting to watch. I think they found an okay balance between the two here. I just don't find her that compelling. The voice was a little off. It didn't fit the character, I think. She did good, and it's kind of Captain Marvel-y at times. Not in terms of, like, you know, her strength or power, just the way that they made the character related to the army, which I didn't care for too much, but it didn't take away from my experience. I kind of, over the course of the movie, I came to like it a little bit more, and I accepted it for what it was. But what I did not like and I cannot stand, Joel McHale as Johnny Cage. I do not like it. I think on paper it is a good choice, because Joel McHale is a huge dick, Johnny Cage is a huge dick. They made careers out of being those kind of characters, but the voice doesn't fit the body and it doesn't work, and I did not like it. I think Johnny was done really well. Joel ruined it, and I didn't enjoy hearing his voice when I was watching it. If it was anyone else, I probably would have liked it a little more. Just on that term, it was hard, man. Like, it was cringy at times too. So, overall thoughts on Mortal Kombat Legends. It's a great way to set up a universe that you could do in the vein of the DC animated stuff. You set up your characters in Liu Kang, in Raiden, in Quan Chi, in Shang Tsung, in Shao Kahn, in Scorpion, in Johnny Cage, in Sonya Blade, in Jax. You set up all your characters in a really compelling and interesting way to do more stuff with them. The animation was fluid. The way it integrated elements from the video games was very interesting to see. You got special character moments for each person with their unique fighting style. Everything about it worked in a way I wasn't expecting. If you could get past the voice cast for certain characters, I think this is a definite watch and everyone should check it out, because it's a really fun thing to experience if you are a fan of those characters like I am. So go watch Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion Revenge, because we need more of these. This is what I want from an animation studio like this. Take some chances, do something unique and interesting. And it's really fun. And it makes me excited for if James Wan's actually doing that movie, which I can't remember if he is or not. I love Mortal Kombat. Check out this animated movie. You can get it on video on demand. Go buy the physical copy. It's really fun. And thank you for watching. Of course, you can check me out on Patreon, on Instagram, on Twitter. Email me for stuff for my podcast. All the information for that will be in the description below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Get over here.